Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim and Akwal who subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom to bring it out, especially in these times, making their bodies a living sacrifice. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the Men of Valor Camp, New Jersey, NYC, first camp I ever heard the truth from. Those that, Isaiah 62, verses 6 through 7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, keep not silence, give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is the praise in all the earth. So, back at it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai. Lord's will, you'll be edified by this lesson. It's going to be a quicker lesson if the spirit permits, if the spirit allows. No further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to jump into a few different articles. One from NBC News, and then one from the New York Times. Going into the same topic, I'm also going to touch on a brief experience I had at the local mall close to my job, and a testimony, after camp testimony. And Lord's will, you'll be edified. I'm also going to touch on scriptures, of course. And Lord's will, you'll be edified by it. So let's get into it. So this is the New York Times article I'm going to cover. This was released yesterday, March 25th. Today is the 26th. And with no further ado, let's get into it. So Rutgers says all students must be V'd before they can come to the campus in fall. This is released yesterday, the 25th. So let's get it. Taking note of President Biden's vow to make every adult eligible for the V, the Jim Jones juice, the Kool-Aid, by early summer, Rutgers University in New Jersey announced Thursday that all students would need to be fully V'd with two cups of the Jim Jones juice against the CV-19 before they would be allowed to return to campus in the fall. Adding CV-19 Jim Jones juice cups to our students' immunization requirements. They want you to drink the juice and get juiced in. Will provide a safer and more robust college experience for our students, said Jonathan Holloway, the president of Rutgers University, in a statement. The university, one of the largest in the country, is thought to be among the first to require students to receive the CV-19 Jim Jones juice cups. Despite Kool-Aid, that requirement will apply to Rutgers' three main campuses in New Brunswick, Newark, and Camden, beginning in the fall. Students will have to show proof of inoculation before moving into their dorm or attending in-person classes. According to the university, students may file for an exemption for medical or religious reasons. Those attending fully online or off-campus programs will also be exempt. The university has more than 70,000 students, 81% of whom are New Jersey residents. So that's what they're requiring in Rutgers. They want you to be fully V'd to attend. This is what's happening in Miami with the Miami Heat. And this is coming to every single facet of sports, every single facet of life pretty soon. But they're starting with a few industries, in a few selected industries, in a few selected places first, just to get people used to hearing the message. Let's get it. Miami Heat redefines VIP in CV19 area. So look how they're doing it. Look how they're wording it. Let's read it again. Miami Heat redefines VIP. They want you to be part of their exclusive club. You know, you've been fully V'd in. You're drinking both cups of the Jim Jones juice. Let's read this again. This is incredible. Miami Heat redefines VIP in CV19 era. V'd important people. V'd important people. Some primo seats are being reserved for juiced in fans at Heat home games. So let's read about it. The Miami Heat is opening a new brand of VIP seating for a select group of fans who want to watch the team play at America Airlines Arena, the Jim Jones Juiced fan section. You drinking both cups of our juice or the single cup from Magic Johnson and Company. Magic Johnson and Company. I'm not going to say the names of specific distributors because I believe those are buzzwords. I've saved those names of companies and videos, and they've been removed from YouTube. So I'm using buzzwords for those who don't know or maybe new to this channel, like Jim Jones Juice, Magic Johnson and Company, to talk about the V, the Jim Jones Juice. The V means the inoculation. The Jim Jones Juice also means the same thing. And Magic Johnson and Company is slang or code talk for JOHNSON and JOHNSON. I have to spell things out. I have to talk in code words because of YouTube guidelines and their algorithms. But let's keep it going. And their floor seats. So let's read this again. The Miami Heat is opening a new brand. The Miami Heat is opening a new brand of VIP seating for a select group of fans who want to watch the team play at America Airlines Arena, the V'd fans section. And their floor seats. Wow. Don't you feel special? Starting April 1st. So ironic, April 1st. What the world knows is April Fool's Day. And you guys are fools for taking this man's concoction, drinking his cups of juice. Let's keep on going though. Starting April 1st, fans with proof from Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that they got their last cup of Jim Jones juice at least 14 days prior to the game will be allowed to enter the arena through a separate gate given V-verified. You've been V-verified. Wristbands and directed to these primo seats. The Heat have allowed two sections in the lower level to fully V'd fans. The team said in a statement, these seats will be located in sections 117 to 18, and the pods of seats will be separated by just one seat. But within those sections, this is the kicker right here, everybody will still have to wear masks. Fucking dummies. So you go through all that, you get marked by this man, you know, and his Magi's and Sorcerers, and you still got to wear a mask with his potion in your body. And he's doing it on this day right here, poking fun at you, opening everything up for the people who've taken it. This date right here, poking fun at you because you're a fool. Let's keep it going. But within those sections, everybody will still have to wear a mask, and those lucky enough to snag seats closest to the action will get some extra CV-19 scrutiny. Guests seated within 30 feet of the court of the VEED fan section will still be required to undergo an on-site rapid test at the arena prior to the game and be cleared by our testing provider, the Heat said in a statement. Fans sitting further back will not need to undergo on-site rapid testing or get sniffed by the stadium's trained CV-19 detection dogs, the statement said. Finally, tickets in the VEED section are not transferable and cannot be resold, and if you're part of a group, a guest's entire party must be fully VEED. You must be and have proof that you've taken and drinking both cups of the juice or the single cup from JOHNSON and JOHNSON to enter the arena together. Summer Johnson McGee, Dean of the University of New Haven's School of Health Sciences, was of two minds about the Miami Heat's special seating for the VEED fans. From a public health perspective, any initiative that motivates people to get VEED would be a good thing. Fucking devil, McGee said. However, ethically speaking, such policies are concerning as they discriminate on the basis of immune status. Small perks for those who are immunized could be harmless, but organizations may take this to an extreme, like VEED only airline flights. Well, obviously she didn't get the memo about the V passports that the global airline industry is looking to introduce. She didn't get that memo, obviously. Or other restrictions on access to services only to the VEED people. Also, McGee said a VIP V bubble may require, Also, McGee said a VIP V bubble may work so long as it doesn't encourage riskier behavior like removing masks. And this is happening industry by industry. I went to get some coffee yesterday on my lunch break. I went to the local mall, which is right next to the place where I work at in Southern California. And the AMC theater was open. So I went inside, just sort of snooping around on my lunch break. And I talked to a few brothers about this as well in the group chat that we're in. And I asked the movie theater employee, are people required to get the V before entering into the theater? She said no, but they're required to wear masks the whole time while they're watching movies. And I'm like, how do they eat the popcorn? She's like, I don't know. Maybe they dip the mask down and take a few bites here and there and put it back up. I was like, that's pretty interesting. Then I asked her a question. Hey, are they putting pressure on you guys to get the V? And she said, yeah, I just got a letter saying I have to, basically job up by a certain date. So AMC movie theaters is going to require their employees to get the V. Now, I went online immediately after and tried to do a search for it, but there's no news announcement. These things are happening behind the scenes. A few people who I know from my hometown are telling me the same thing. Amazon is doing the same thing with their employees. People at doctors' offices and people who are working in the field of like dentistry, they're getting those letters from corporate saying that they have to, you know, to jab up pretty soon to keep their position. I went to the Nike store on the way back, just walking by the Nike store. I walked in there acting like I was going to buy some shoes. And I asked the Nike employees, and they said they haven't been officially notified yet. You know, they haven't gotten any letter. But on the way back, almost to the office, I ran into those people who talk to you about saving the kids, save the children, feed the children. I don't know the exact organization, but since they stopped me, you know, dead in my tracks when I was sipping my coffee, I asked them, you know, are you being pressured or being forced to take the V? And they flat out told me that everybody within their office basically got a notification about a month ago or so, and they all took the V. Pretty interesting, you know? And after camp, on the way back on Monday night, I got a ride from a Northern Kingdom sister, Issacharite. And some just told me in the middle of the ride, because she was cool. She seemed like she had a cool spirit on her from what I observed at first, and eventually found out she was cool as a fan and had a beautiful spirit on her. And shalom to her. She actually subscribed to the channel, and I gave her a few other channels as well. I asked her, hey, are you being pressured or forced, or have you received a notification from Lyft that you have to jab up? She said no. She said, and I was like, well, something just hopped on me to say, yeah, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust these people. She's like, who? I was like, the Edomites. I didn't say the Edomites. I said the white man, the devil, man. And she said, yeah, I know. I don't trust him either. Just makes no sense. They made the concoction too quick. They made the cocktail too quick, you know? And then we start chopping it up, and, you know, I started telling her about I just broke out and told her, hey, anybody ever told you you're an Israelite? She's like, wow, I've actually been looking and trying to learn more. My friend was telling me about the Israelites, and yeah, I've been trying to learn more. So I showed her the sign, you know, and then I started talking to her more, and I started just, spirit hopped on me. I gave her the names, you know. Immediately when I gave her the names, she said both names like instantly. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, instantly, without flaw. And she told me she had been trying to learn more and to study and get into it. So I gave her a few channels. I gave her the Brothers in Peru's channel, you know, because she speaks Spanish as well. And it was a beautiful thing, you know. Had two conversations that were really, really intriguing. And that's all, you know, praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that I was able to have those two conversations. You know, one with the brother on camera, talked to him for about a good 10, 15 minutes, you know. And then one off camera after camp, you know, the Lyft driver who admitted that she was actually trying to learn more about the Israelites. And somebody was telling her, and, you know, she believed, you know. So that's two beautiful experiences that I was able to have, you know, on that Monday camp session, you know. And all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for giving me the spirit to get out there, because it's a beautiful thing that happened on camera and off camera. Don't want to do too much rambling. Just wanted to give you those two experiences, and to let, you know, Akim and Akwath know, who may watch this channel, that the pressure from below and the pressure from above is starting to get, you know, a little more intense day by day. And they're going to put the squeeze, the elites are going to put the squeeze on your job pretty soon, you know, to do the same thing. So don't get faint. Don't get weak. Don't give in. So let's get to some scriptures and wrap this up. Just wanted to share those experiences with you because, you know, I meant to share it that night, but I was extremely fatigued, you know, from holding camp 2 days in a row. So just decided to share it today. So let's get into some scriptures, try to wrap this up. And Lord's Lord, you were edified by this, and will be edified by this. So this is Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up against me? Who will rise up for me? It's like it. Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? And these people are working iniquity, saying that this is a VIP, the VID, important people, the NBA. And it's so ironic that the NBA is setting the trend for all the other sports to follow the same. The NFL, the MLB, the NHL. Pretty soon they're gonna be all doing this right here. VID, important people, VIP. And he's one hell of a marketer, man. I gotta give him that. He's promoting this thing like none other, man. And it's gonna take a strong, resilient spirit to realize, and of course, mistrust of this man, to realize that this isn't the math. This isn't what you need to be doing. And this is evil, And every single other video, like literally almost every video I've done on this topic, it's been taken down. So I'm running and rolling the dice, even putting up this video. But I'm going to try to get a little creative with the title, so, Lord's will, it doesn't get taken down. And I get my main channel back in a couple of days. So that's why I'm rolling the dice, putting this lesson out. And Lord's will, it stays up. But let's read this again. And Salaki Yahweh Bashim Yahshua for butchering this. Didn't mean to butcher it. Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Esau, his magites and sorcerers, his medium, your own job, they're going to be pushing this on you pretty soon, man. You're going to have that choice to make, whether you're going to, roll in the spirit, or whether you're just going to roll over and give in and bow down to Baal, and worship the beast, in his image, and eventually get that mark, that's followed after it. So let's read this again. Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? And right now we're standing stiff for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, and Lord's will, maybe we continue to do the same thing. And, Lord's will, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua keeps that resilient spirit on us to stand firm for his name and stand firm for our beliefs, and not give in and not get weak. Because this man is going to turn up the heat, no pun intended. Well, actually, pun intended, better yet. Revelation 18 and 23. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom, the word, and the bride, the prophets, the men out there in the highways and byways and the highways and hedges, shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants, the Edomites, were great men of the earth. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, these Edomites. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Let's get that. Let's get a precept that backs up that the Edomites are the merchants. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel and the sword right here, and Thawadi Abashim Yashah for the precept. Ezekiel 17 and 4. He cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He set it in a city of merchants. These two young twigs, these young twigs are representative and parabolic talk right here. It says Ezekiel 17 and 2, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. This parable is going into the southern and northern kingdom, and these two young twigs, is talking about the southern and northern kingdom. He cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it in a land of traffic. He set it in the city of merchants. It's talking about the southern and northern kingdom, the twigs. And the city of merchants is America, Babylon the Great. So let's read this again with understanding. Revelation 18:23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom, the word, Yahushua, the bridegroom, and of the bride, the prophets, the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua, shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, the merchants, the city of merchants being America. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And this man's deceived all the nations. Nobody knows who they are anymore. Nobody knows their biblical nationality. Our people are walking around through, believing that there's a boogeyman that they need to be protected from. And that boogeyman that they really need to be protected from is Esau Edom, But they're believing in this man's potion, and they're taking it, and they're going to be destroyed for it. So if you go into this word right here, sorceries in the Strongs, it goes into pharmakia, Strong's 5331. And if you go into this right here, the Strongs get a little more deeper into it. It goes into sorcery, witchcraft, And if you go one step deeper, the use or administering of drugs, poisoning, medication, sorcery, witchcraft. It's pretty much what I wanted to get. Magic, and that's what this V is, right? That's what this V is right here. The V is magic, and he's administering his solution to you, and he's doing this to you, with his DARPA hydrogel, nanoparticles, altering your genome, basically making you his creation. This is Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. If you go into the NLT, it goes into a different wordage. As for you, you smear me with lies. As physicians, you are worthless quacks. If you go into this right here, physicians, Rapa, And if you go into the Strongs, it goes into heal, physician, cure, repaired, to heal, make healthful, which they're not doing. Healer, physician, So it goes into what that actually means. If you go right here, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. It actually means, physician. And if you take it one step further, because it goes into a different wordage in the NLT, you are worthless quacks, physicians of no value, which is a worthless quack. And then if you go into the definition of what a quack is the sense of a medical imposter, is a shortening of the old Dutch quacksalver, spelled Kwakzalver in the modern Dutch, which originally meant a person who cures with home remedies, and then came to mean one using false cures or knowledge. Interesting, huh? Let's keep this going. Try to wrap this up in the next few minutes if I can, Lord's will. 2 Thessalonians 8-12. And then shall thou wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who's his mouth? Let's get that. Luke 1:70. At the Wadi Abashim Yashah for the precept. Luke 1:70. Yep. Luke 1:70. I'm going to start at 68. Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. He has raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So that's who the word of the mouth. That's who the mouth of the Most High is. You know, his holy prophets. That's who speaks the words of the Heavenly Father, his holy prophets. So let's read this again. And then shall thou wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the work of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love for the truth, that they might believe that they might be saved. So I'm going to read this again. And with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie. You know, Esau, Edom's report. You know, the Magites and sorcerers, they got the real truth. You know, we're conspiracy theorists. You know, we're terrorists. You know, this man has his best intentions for you, and, you know, he wants to make you his VIP right here in this VIP section. Let's keep it going. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. And a lot of our people are taking pleasure in taking this man's V, believing this man's lie, you know, believing and calling on the false names, you know, believing and loving black culture, you know, Hispanic culture, Native American culture, you know, and those aren't your ways. Those aren't your customs. Those aren't your heritage, man, you know. So let's keep it going. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who's that he? The elect, you know, the remnant. And we're, you know, hoping, and, you know, I don't want to wrap this up, you know, may we all be protected, you know, from Jacob's trouble, because we're all going to be tried. We're all going to have that ultimatum, you know, get bit or quit. Take the JAB for the JOB, you know, take the punch to get the lunch, you know, take the max to get the snacks. And maybe we all stay resilient, you know, when we're tried, because we're all going to be tried, you know. So let's read this again, Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And they're going to do this. They're going to do this And they're going to keep on doing this and doing this and doing this. Pressure from above, pressure from below, pressure from below, pressure from above, until they put the squeeze on all of society. And everybody's going to be presented with this ultimatum right here, At your job, at your apartment, the local grocery store, commercial flights, It's coming. Last precept. Lord's will, you were edified by the sit down, by this lesson right here. And Salakia for the stutter stepping. It's a little early over here. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And, Yahweh willing, Yahweh Ratazah, may we all be protected, who hear this message, and who believe on these words, and who believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, and who believe the report, because we're going to need that hedge of protection over us, because all hell's going to break loose, This man's going to try to starve people out to take, eventually that chip with no salsa, He's going to put a squeeze on society where you're not going to be able to function, in Babylon the Great without his concoction in your body. And eventually, when he shuts down the electrical grid or however he does it to reset society, eventually his chip with no salsa, And we're going to need to be kept from the hour of temptation. And this is all starting right now, This is all the precursors of Jacob's trouble, And who are they saying that doesn't trust this man's concoction? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's who they're saying is on TV that needs to go down there and trust them. They're not worried about Elam. They're not worried about Moab. They're not worried about Ham, Cush, Ishmael. They're not worried about any of those other people. They're not even mentioning any of those other people. They're saying that you, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, don't trust them, And Joe Biden just announced last week, it was a few weeks ago, I believe, that he wants to send FEMA, the National Guard, into underprivileged communities to make sure that you take the V. So eventually this man's going to just take off the gloves and show everybody that he's Esau, man, And he's the devil, man. And this is, a warning. And this is also a message to let you know that the believers and those who are preordained to receive protection will receive it. So closing out, let's read this, Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And we're going to be tried, but this is a promise to the elect right here, Let's read this again. This is beautiful right here. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, And we're all going to be put through that furnace, via our walks, our individual walks in this truth, to be made fine gold, talking to the men, and out on Ratazah, Yahweh Ratazah, may we all prevail and be those men on a chariot, drinking that vine that Yahweh Shai is saving for the elect, you know. So Lord's will, you were edified by this lesson. I tried to make a quicker lesson, but, you know, the Spirit just rocked and rolled for me to make it a longer lesson. And Lord's will, you were edified by it. So closing out, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim and Akwath who subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching the truth of sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom to bring it out, making their bodies a living sacrifice, especially in these times. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the Men of Valor Camp, New Jersey, NYC. First camp I ever heard the truth from. Isaiah 62, verses 6 through 7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, keep not silence. Give him no rest. To Jerusalem is a praise in all the earth. So Lord's will, you were edified by this lesson right here. And until next time, Lord's will, shalom.